things are moving along, but it's calling my name. Did I inherit this pain? Keep pulling me close every time I'm restrained. I did not come for no games. I give a what the rule is. I feel like I'm going insane. I feel like I'm about to lose it. I'm on the move like a runaway. Don't turn it back, I've begun to pay. I do not care what the others say. Listen, I told you that I couldn't play. We about to take it to higher heights. History's waiting when I arrive. Today is the dawn of a new, and I'm about to show them that they cannot hold me down. When you a winner, you learn from your losses. We came from the bottom and now we the bosses. The future is yours, so what will you choose? If you give it your all, you got nothing to lose. When you a winner, you learn from your losses. We came from the bottom and now we the bosses. The future is mine, so what did I choose? Look, I grind every day, I got something to prove. Move. This'll make it move. This'll make it move. This'll make it move. This'll make it move. Head to the sky, feet to the ground. I give a what a hater do. If I do not try, then I will have failed, and I can't afford not to make a move. I was told I was not good enough. I was told I was not capable. I had to sit and just ask myself, what you gonna let make of you roll? Everything that I've been working for is right in front of me. I will not ever let go. Using negativity as energy for me as I travel alone on this road. They didn't see the vision, they didn't understand. I went the distance, no helping hand. Now my gift got me sitting on top, and I'm about to show them that they cannot hold me down. When you a winner, you learn from your losses. We came from the bottom and now we the bosses. The future is yours, so what will you choose? If you give it your all, you got nothing to lose. When you a winner, you learn from your losses. We came from the bottom and now we the bosses. The future is mine, so what did I choose?
Game 5 in Denver. This is the Knights Report presented by UMC as we bring you the preview of Game 5 from Studio 31. Daren Millard along with Shane Hnidy. It's a swing game, and it's a much different series after the 2 games at T-Mobile Arena, as the Golden Knights have really played not just the last 2 games, but 8 of the last 9 periods have been in their favor.
Oh, last 3 games, shots 119-63 in favor of the Golden Knights. They've really, found their game. They talked about having a game plan, executing it, and continuing to get better. And I think the template that they've laid down over these last 3 games of getting better each and every game, they're where they need to be. The confidence is built. They understand how they need to play. They know what brings them success. Obviously, you're going to get a little more pushback, I think, from the Avalanche on home ice. They recognize that, hey, maybe a bit of the momentum's been taken away. But for the Golden Knights, the thing that's impressed me the most, Daren, through these games is they have not changed their style of play. They didn't win game 2, but they played the same way right through. Like you said, maybe it was a bit of a slow start, but came through in the last 2 periods. Game 3 and 4, they did not come off their game one bit, especially game 3. I think about that game. It was a game that you could easily have been frustrated. They didn't get the results they wanted. 3rd period, down a goal late. They didn't try and force things. They stuck to the way they'd been playing. They had trust in the system, trust the process of continuing down that path. If we play this way, going to get rewarded. And they were.
And they've been able to control the game virtually at every angle. Shots on goal is one metric. Zone time is another. It's been impressive to watch puck possession as well. As you watch on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube, send us your comments. Send us your Go Knights Go. Let us know where you're tuning in from tonight on the Knights Report presented by UMC. This is Game 5 with the Golden Knights having won the last 2 at T-Mobile Arena. The series shifts back to Denver and Ball Arena. Game number 4 was the best of the series for the Vegas Golden Knights, a multi-goal lead. Everything seemed to go their favor. What did you like most about the performance?
It was the most relaxing. Like, can we say that?
Yes,
it's
yeah.
the easiest on the nerves for Golden Knights fans. You could even maybe say Game 3 is more exciting, the comeback, the dramatics it brings, the entertainment value. But that said, a lot easier on the fans. The old ticker there in Game 4 when you can get a lead. I was impressed with the overall game. I've been impressed the way they've been able to get out of their zone. You and I talked about it earlier. High flips. They're not forcing plays. If it's not there, they're just airmailing it out, and then speed through the neutral zone. And something we talked about early, maybe when we were on the stream the first time, was if the Golden Knights can establish their forecheck, if they can establish pressure, 4 lines, come in waves and build on it. Pete DeBoer touched on it the other day talking about, is that a thing? Can you become contagious? He said yes. It starts with the one line going, and that next line up builds off it, and you continue on the forecheck. And I think that's been a real strength for the Golden Knights, their ability to come at the Avalanche in waves, which tires them out when they're defending for 2-3 minutes. It's hard to come back the other way and find that offensive game, especially a team that thrives off transition, speed and plays and skill. When they're stuck in their own end for extended periods, it takes a little bit of the tank, and it certainly does. It wears the team down when you do it game after game after game in a long series.
You're a former National Hockey League defenseman, so you can relate to what Colorado is going through right now, because I know the focus is on McKinnon, Landeskog, Rantanen, but to get them the puck is the job of that young, quick, very highly skilled blue line of the Colorado Avalanche. They just haven't had time.
No, they haven't. And said I did play that position. At times when you get in a series like this, it wasn't playing against, let's say, the Marchessault, Smith, Carlson line, who have been dynamic. That is tough as a defenseman. It's facing a Brown, Carrier, Colasar, Reeves, whatever combination you want to throw, that every time you go back for that puck, you're getting hit. Even if you make a pass, that starts to weigh on your mind. That becomes a bit of a grind going back, knowing these guys, well, they're going to finish their hit. And I think the fourth line has done a real good job of grinding down the defense of the Avalanche with real sustained pressure, a lot of shifts. Yeah, they get some chances, but the hard work in the corners and constantly, it's I'd be hard pressed to think of a lot of time that line has spent in their own end over the last 3 games. They've been able to keep it simple, chip, go forward, really come at them with pressure, outwork. And I think all the lines have done that. Just the other lines have that more attack mentality. For the Golden Knights, certainly the Carlson, Smith, Marchessault line, their ability to make plays have been so good. The Stevenson line has really done a fantastic job in that shutdown role, matching up against the McKinnon line. Of course, tonight they won't have last change, so that's going to be a combination effort for the Golden Knights. But really have done a good job, as you said. When you look at this Avalanche team, if Cale Makar, Gerard, those type of guys, even Devon Taves, if they're under pressure, under siege all night, it's tough to move the puck. And you start thinking in the back of your head, every time I go back, it's all of a sudden you hear those footsteps, you might rush a play.
And it's not the heavy forecheck that it used to be. The fourth line can do that, but just making you make plays before you're ready to, before you want to. Dave in the UK, thanks for checking in with us as we look ahead to Game 5 tonight. Also, Peter in Melbourne, Sonia in Arlington, Texas, and Jack in Maryland. Appreciate your support and looking forward to Game number 5 of this one. Jack asking, with a big win the other night, what do the Knights need to do to ride this momentum the rest of the series?
Well, they need to carry that momentum, I think. It's tough. I think the best thing right now is they got to carry over that confidence they gained in the way their game plan has been executed. The buy-in they've had to recognize, because after Game 1, everybody's like, there's no chance against this Avalanche. And I think they had to prove to themselves, and they did that in Game 2, a game I thought they deserved to win. Didn't change, didn't try anything else, just built off that in Game 3. Built off it to Game 4. Now you continue to build on that confidence and that belief that you can beat this team. And I know the word believe, it sounds like a simple thing when you're in playoffs, but it's so true. It goes a long way. And it has to be to a man and as a group that you have a belief that you can get the job done. And then if you play this way, you are going to end up on the right side of the game after the 60 minutes, or if it's extra time. It's something that you need to have if you want to make a long, deep run and challenge for the Cup.
You mentioned the depth of the Golden Knights up front with the 4 lines being able to roll over momentum shift after shift and pass that zone time off to the next line coming up. For the Avalanche, they've got this dynamic big 3. They tried going against Stone, Stevenson, and Pacioretty. It hasn't worked. The option beyond that, because the next line that's going to play the most is Carlson along with Marchessault and Riley Smith. Like, that's no easy picnic either. The ability for the Golden Knights not to have to match, but just be able to have faith in whoever's going to go out there has to be a big key. And
that is a big fit. And I think, Pete DeBoer is going to recognize you got to have faith in all four lines, that at times Jared Bednar, the coach of the Avalanche, is going to try, whether it's, off and icing, he's going to try and match up against whether it's the third or fourth lines of the Golden Knights. I think the real good thing the Golden Knights have is the ability to match defensively. That's a real strength of this team. When you look through it, you got, either have Pietrangelo, Martinez, even Whitecloud, what he's grown into, Nick Holden, Nick Hague, Shea Theodore, who am I missing? Braden McNabb. Like, this is a deep 7 guys that can play and play confidently against that top line. You need to have that, because there's going to be periods where it's not going to be the exact matchup you want. So I think something Pete DeBoer and defensive coach Ryan McGill address their players. Confidence, awareness when they're on the ice, but confident to play against them, because on the road you're not always going to get that perfect matchup. Even at home, there's times, and you don't want to get. And I think a lot of coaches, and Pete DeBoer is, you like your matchups, but you don't want to be matchup heavy where if they're not on the ice, it takes away from the flow of the game. Like, somebody's on there, I got to change right away so we can get our matchup. No, it's play when you get an opportunity, but have the confidence to play against them. And I think that's important. They've got the confidence, they got the depth, and the ability to believe any line. Not for, you're not going to see the Brown line or even the Wall line, or possibly, that Wall line is, there's big guys, strong defensively, but you won't see them throw a whole game matchup, but they may take 2, 3, 4 shifts, by chance against them, and I think they'd be fine.
Sort of along the same line, but Vegas Stronger asking, Colorado fans are talking a lot about the Avs having the advantage of last change. Do you think this will have a large impact on the game? And I don't think it will, just because if Jared Bednar tries to chase the matchups, he's really going to do a disservice to what his top line can do. So I don't see him going along that line.
No, and you saw it last game. He started to double shift that line to show them out. Instead of, rolling 4 lines, he's, roll them out and then 2 line, double shift, if you will. And will he do that? Well, I'm sure, sometimes game situation dictates that, whether he will try and get his top guys out more. But I don't think it's going to play a big factor. I agree with you, Darren. It's something that's, a little bit of that match between the coaches. But overall, it's the team that can come out, and like every game, the start's very important. I think Golden Knights have done a real good job of not letting starts really get to them.
The other day was unbelievable. They blitzed
example.
The Colorado Avalanche, and the Avs saw it scores.
They did have a little bit of that seventh man in being in their home building, that they're not going to go away. And Avalanche scored early, but the fans just getting started.
Turned it right back.
Just turn it right back, and that's the ability to take those momentum shifts and swing them back. It doesn't have to be a goal, but that next shift after a goal against, or even a goal for, is so important.
Line rushes are underway in the pregame warm-up at Ball Arena in Denver. We have the roster that is projected to go against the Colorado Avalanche for game number 5. We'll give you that as we continue here from Studio 31, looking ahead to this decisive game in which the winner will grab a 3-2 series lead.
The most challenging opponent is one that adapts. That's when you need to take your game to a higher level. Just like the doctors at Comprehensive Cancer Centers. From using the body's immune system to fight cancer, to pinpoint surgery without the surgery, Comprehensive is finding new ways to attack, new ways to defend, new ways to change the game.
World-class skill, elite care, Comprehensive Cancer Centers.
At Smith's, we go over and above to make sure we have the freshest stuff in our stores. That's why we get secret shoppers to do pop inspections.
Secret Asian man, secret Asian man.
We make sure Smith's produce isn't just fresh, it's fresher than fresh. Smith's, fresh for everyone.
Dollar Loan Center has been Nevada's community short-term lender for over 20 years, and DLC is thrilled to announce that we are now the official short-term lender of the Vegas Golden Knights and Henderson Silver Knights. And we are taking it up a notch with a brand new location, and this one is 200,000 square feet. We are proud to have the Silver Knights call the Dollar Loan Center its new home. And yes, we'll even have an activation center in our amazing new Henderson Arena. Opening in early 2022.
We have a little bit more clarity on how this series is going to look for games 5, 6, and 7 after the ruling by an independent arbitrator regarding the appeal of Nazem Kadri. We'll get to that in just a little bit. But as far as the projected lineup is concerned for the Vegas Golden Knights, coming up for the pregame warm-up at Ball Arena in Denver, we can tell you that the top top two lines for the Vegas Golden Knights are remaining the same, but there is a switch. Matthias Janmark is slotted in on the left side of that third line, and Nick Holden is going back in with Nick Hague coming out. So Janmark in, Reeves out, and it's Holden in and Hague out for this game.
Well, I think it strengthens the lineup when you get Janmark back, especially with Waugh and Tuck. Really meshed with that line. We saw what they were able to do in Game 7 of Round 1. Janmark getting hurt in Game 1 against Colorado, so he's back in the lineup. I think that's a good thing, the speed. And this is a guy that went to the Cup Finals last year, understands this time of year. And Nick Holden really played well. And this is, Pete DeBoer talking about the ability to bring fresh legs in. We heard that throughout the season, a condensed season, that he said, I'm going to use our depth to our advantage. And I think this could be a good example of it. Just played, a real tight series through 4 games. They put some new bodies in, some energy into the lineup. Nick Holden, certainly a veteran voice in that room. He came in. He played well. He was matched up against that top line. So, you're going to have probably Holden, Whitecloud together. Confidence there. Pietrangelo, Martinez, Theodore McNabb. I think that's the key matchup. Regardless of who's up front, they have the confidence and ability of any of those pairs to be out whoever the Avalanche want to put on the ice. So, some more depth here for Vegas. And Ryan Reeves coming out, came back, played really well. Nice setup to Brown. But Colas are a big part of that line with Brown and Carrier in Games 2 and 3. I thought they were excellent together. So, he brings a little pace to the game, physicality. And it could be a rotation here. I think, very similar players. But yeah, this is a strong lineup for Vegas. So now it's just now they got to go out and do it.
Is Janmark's inclusion in the lineup a great thing for somebody like Alex Tuch?
Big thing, yeah. I really believe for Alex Tuch, it's good to get Janmark. I think they built a little bit of chemistry. I think Janmark, he has the ability to make plays. He doesn't just throw it away. And Tuch needs someone that can distribute the puck, find him. Along with Nick Waugh, I think those 3 guys in size. Janmark's a heavy guy. He's a big, strong guy that can, grind along the walls. Nick was 6'4", and Alex Tuch's 6'4", and they all got speed. I think Janmark brings that element of speed to that line along with Alex Tuch. But yeah, I think he'll benefit. Maybe he's my wild card to see find one in the back of the net tonight. It's going to be Alex Tuch.
Question, who do you think needs to be a game changer for the Knights to secure a win tonight?
Let's stick with it. Alex Tuch. Yeah, I think, we saw the top 2 lines really come through last game. Well, we've seen Jonathan Marchessault now has been just, on a roll, 4-game point streak for him. That whole line is really, to me, played to the identity I remember from year 1. It really reminds me of what they did then. They've got that little bit of jam back in their game. So let's go that third line with Janmark back in the lineup. He had the hat trick in Game 7 that really provided the difference. I think we'll go to the other side of the wing on Nick Waugh and say Alex Tuch's the difference maker tonight.
We appreciate you tuning in worldwide, watching the VGK and getting set for this Game 5 against the Colorado Avalanche. I also appreciate those that are supporting this live stream and the Knights Report, including City National Bank, the official bank of the Vegas Golden Knights. You've probably played for some coaches that there's no way when you win a game you're changing the lineup. And that's the impressive part about Pete DeBoer is he hasn't blinked at all into alter his lineup, whether he's coming off a loss or a victory.
And it helps when you have this type of depth.
Right.
I think that allows a coach. There are always difficult decisions to make, especially after a win when guys play well. But, that's a confident coach that, believes in his group, believes in his team. And I think all the players do. Regardless of who comes in, comes out, there's no pouting. Guys they're in it together, and that is so important. And, we've heard a lot of people talk about Nick Holden and in particular, just because he's a veteran guy of the season, out of the lineup a lot, but the positive attitude. And when the young guys see that, and then they get called, well, they're like, well, this is how you act. It's a real valuable lesson to learn at a young age for a young hockey player like, say, Nick Hague, that, at the same time, yeah, you're out, you got a positive attitude, but you work your tail off like you're going to get back in to stay ready. And I think that's, Nick Holland really set the bar high for that. And guys understand that situation when they're in it, and happy for the guys going in. And when their name's called, they're ready to go.
There was some speculation that the Golden Knights would have to deal with Nazem Kadri prior to the end of his 8-game suspension. Kadri appealed that player safety ruling to Gary Bettman. That was upheld, and now an independent arbitrator has ruled that Kadri will have to sit out the full 8 games, so he won't be eligible until Game 7. Just your assessment on the fact that the suspension will remain the same.
I'm more shocked at the appeal than anything. It's his 3rd suspension in four playoffs?
Yes.
You've got the memory brain there. That's what it is, right? Suspended 3 times in the last 4 playoffs. And you can't appeal. It's that they take that into account, your past history. So no surprise by me it's upheld, but certainly an impact player for the Avalanche, good in faceoffs, good defensively, really adds depth down that middle, an important position for the Colorado Avalanche. But something that has happened 2 other times is he just gets to the playoffs, and he's a guy that walks. There's a ton of guys, especially in playoffs. You're kind of walking that line of but he every year it's been consistently almost crosses it, and it unfortunately costs him and it costs his team. But Golden Knights won't have to worry about him tonight or in Game 6, and for Vegas, hopefully they can come home and try and wrap it up then.
Vegas will have to contend with Ball Arena, where the Colorado Avalanche have been very successful this year in the regular season and the Stanley Cup playoffs. So far, it's been a homer series. What do they have to do to try and change that?
Well, I think they handled it well in Game 3. I think they've been there, and they, Game 1, you don't take anything away from that other than anger, and sometimes that's not a bad thing. To be honest,
you were angry.
Yeah, but. And I told you right after that, I think that loss, to lose 7-1 in Game 1, was a more, and it's not a valuable, but it's an easier one to take than had they lost 2-1 in double overtime, where they thought, oh, we were right there. This one, no, you weren't even close. They were embarrassed, they were angry, and they came back and reacted the right way. They didn't get Game 2, but they got to their game. So I think they understood in that game it was important that they were close. They knew they should have had a better fate. Didn't happen. I didn't like the call in overtime, but that's another story. I would not be the only one with not liking a call here in playoffs, and it happens. It's a quick game. Understand that they lost that one in overtime, but they showed themselves that they could, go to toe with that team in their home building.
I was speculating on the VGK Insider show the last couple of days whether Colorado may try something drastic like changing up their lines. And it's actually happened. The top line is going to be Brandon Saad with Nathan McKinnon and Mikko Rantanen. So that's different. Gabriel Landeskog moves down to the second line with JT Compher, who's done a great job there. But the depth there, because that's normally where Kadri would be, and Chushkin.
Yeah. And if you're Jared Bednar, you have to. You haven't been able to get that production. You've got that high-end talent. Try and spread it around in your lineup. So no surprise that he wanted to move things around. He's trying to spark his team. He hasn't been happy. Well, he wasn't happy after Game 3. After Game 4, he said he thought it was better. I think that time it's kind of that.
It was like Coach Speak. He's already played the card.
Yeah, he's already played the one card, the angry card, trying to call him out. Now it's and that's part of coaching, right? The first one was a kick in the rear. The next one's a pat in the back. Yeah. That's just how do you handle your group? And
Parenting 101.
Parenting 101, yeah. So now he's going to shuffle things around. This is the next step. Move pieces around. How long it lasts, we'll see.
So Vegas bounces back and plays much better after being blown out. Colorado will try to do the same thing. So it's imperative that Vegas, nobody's won 3 in a row, by the way, in the 12 games that they've played this year. So Vegas is trying to do that for the first time, and amazingly, the records are almost. I'm
identical. Confident. You don't seem as confident as me. You're just.
Well, I'm trained to be straight-laced, very down the middle. You are emotional.
I don't get emotional when I watch, though.
You get angry?
Oh, I get angry, but I don't get excited or whatever. I just
And then you get angry?
There's certain things that anger me, and right now you are one of
Right
them. No,
now?
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I strive to accomplish that goal. So give me two keys as we approach face-off here of game number 5 for the Vegas Golden Knights. This will be a sign of success when we watch this game.
Yeah, I think tonight the first 10 minutes in patience to their game. Great if you get the first. If you don't, try and weather that. The Avalanche are going to come out in their building, and it's kind of what they talked about when they, what would be the keys for the Avalanche coming to Vegas. That first 10 minutes is so important in the opposition's building. And I think for Vegas, the other one is just, I don't want to say more of the same, but the way they've been able to control the neutral zone. Puck management is going to be key tonight. Don't have a play that we've seen, especially in a breakout, nothing there. That little lob flip with speed. Don't try cross seam passes, little chip to space attack with speed. Where they put the puck and where they can, put it in an area where they can get to it. I think that has been very important for them. Put it behind the defense of the Avalanche and continue to grind, continue to press them as much as you can. That four-line wave of attack.
How surprised are you that the winner of this series will face the Montreal Canadiens, who came out of the North?
I'm not.
Really?
I'm going to go back to an old SLGND podcast, I believe it was early in the year.
Did you bring a clip
And I
with
had
you?
Montreal coming out of the North.
Really?
Now that was after the first 8 games.
Yeah, they
but-
were on fire, and they're in those
But
first days.
that said, and I remember, I forget who, some probably smarter than me said, this team built for playoffs. So when the playoffs started, no. But then I watched them against Toronto, and Carey Price is that type of goalie that just looked in the zone. Like when it went to game 6, I'm like, Montreal could do this. Toronto's a team that, well, first of all, I think they could collapse easily, not mentally strong. And it happened. And then they went into Winnipeg, and, yeah, they've been able to do it. So, yeah, there's a little surprise to it. But, out of that North, I could have been anybody. And the Canadians, credit to them, are able to get it done.
Banner, once in a lifetime banner, the North Division banner. That coming out of the of that division. So that's what awaits the winner of this West Division final between the Vegas Golden Knights and the Colorado Avalanche. Pregame show coming up on NBC-SN. You can watch the television side there, or the VGK Radio Network with Dan Duva and Gary Lawless on Fox Sports Las Vegas.
See Gary renting scooters? I think that should be on this live stream.
I can't tell you how many texts I'm getting from Gary who wants us to show him on a scooter. So we might actually have to do it, or you like this, the reverse psychology. It bugs him even more that we won't do it. I don't know what serves our purpose more.
Well, we'll figure that part out.
Yeah. Game number 5 tonight. Enjoy it.
I will. Are we watching
Shane
together?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
We're going to go enjoy. So you may
It's
not
like
enjoy
I
it.
figured you had a better plan or something.
Quite as much as I will. I like hanging out with Shane. It's fun. I get to pick his brain all the time. And you can too as you follow along this journey through the 2021 Stanley Cup playoffs. Thanks for watching the Knights Report presented by UMC from Studio 31. Game 5 is coming up.
Vegas Golden Knight Alex Tuck is a hero on the ice, and off the ice, he's doing something even more important. He's a registered organ, eye, and tissue donor. In the United States, more than 100,000 people are waiting for a life-saving organ transplant. That's more than 5 times